Creativity is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration, which means hard work is key. With this, I welcome you to this program, Vivid View with Ehilise. I am Ehilise. Vivid View.
Say and do it.
Our topic for discussion today is my career, where to begin. It's an interesting one. And career is defined as the progress of actions taken by a person throughout a lifetime, or a person choosing profession or occupation, which often requires special training. We have a notable personality in our midst who is going to handle this. Let's make welcome a public speaker, Mr. Fabian Akeze.
Vivid View.
Say and do it.
Before I continue, please follow us on our social media as displayed on the screen. Fabian, you're welcome once again.
Thank you very much.
Now, this my career. It's always been a problem to people where they will really begin. That is one of the reasons why we decided to treat it here to also help youths. So what more can you say about my career?
Okay, yes, fantastic. Ehilise, thank you very much. Okay, the issue with the career is, as a young undergraduate in the university, I came to realize that we are being taught subconsciously that when you gain admission, that apparently when you graduate with a good degree, life will fall into place. You understand? But we came to realize that, but when you leave the university, you come to realize that, look, there is so much more for you to answer, and that propels the question, what should I do with my life? You understand? But the thing about the career is that it just doesn't come to you at once. You understand? Like, we had a brief conversation before coming in, and we talked about yourself.
Yes.
Exactly. So for young people out there who are watching, they should come to realize that, look, if you cannot answer the question on what you choose to do for the rest of your life, it's okay. But what is not okay is the fact that when you choose not to seek a solution to that problem, you understand?
All right. You already said it. For me, career is something that's going to be for a long time, if you listen carefully to the definition. Then should people begin to build career capital from a young age?
Exactly. Yes, thank you for the question. Yes. Look, yes, it's really, really, really important for young people to build career capital, because people today are being misled by what they read on social media. People talk about Mark Zuckerberg saying he became a billionaire at a really young age. You see, that's quite misleading, because if you know that story, those guys started coding from the young age of 8. Jack Dorsey, co-founder of Twitter, said when he was 8, his parents bought an Apple computer, a Mark II, and he came to realize that by age 15, he was really, really good at coding software. Now, people are 27, 28, and they say, okay, I want to build the next Facebook, and you never coded in your life. How, in God's name, do you intend to achieve that?
Yeah.
It's impossible. Like myself, when I was 17, I started to accompany my mother to the shop, selling and supplying. So you see, I began to build career capital from young. Although I didn't know what it was all about, I just knew that I could sell, I could interact with adults, I could supply, and over time, it has helped me. You see, if you want to grow into doing something marvelous or into getting a good job, you have to have something good to offer. You see, skills are very, very, very important. Most people take them for granted. People think a certificate to do all the speaking. They say, I teach undergraduates that, look, you should be able to speak more than your CV. Let your CV not do all the whole talking, because they teach people that, look, just write a great CV. And look, it's more than that, because if something says that, okay, what got you here won't get you there. You understand? So I think young people should build career capital from a young age. That's it. Thank you.
And then we are going to involve our parents now to look at their children, know those things that they love doing best, and that they can also help them to develop their career. So it's not, don't wait till you grow old, as you mentioned, before you start building your career. So it's important you also start from a very young age. And sometimes I call it having a plan B. So that you mentioned graduates, by the time you graduate and you find out that there's no job, it's not as you proposed earlier. Then you already have something else you can fall in because of the career you're building. All right, thank you, Fabian.
Okay.
Are there better ways to choose or find a career aside parents' dictates? Sometimes parents will say, we're going to be a doctor. I want to be an engineer. I want to be this. Is there any other way we can do that apart from them dictating?
Okay, yes, there are so many, there are other ways to do that. Okay, when people graduate and you are lucky to find a job or secure a job, you see, the problem is when people get into a job, I see most people when they get employed, they are always seeking for an exit door. They're always thinking this pay is it's little,
Too
it's
small,
not
I need a
enough.
bigger one and all
You
that.
understand? But look, as you transition from one job to the other, people should realize that, look, if I'm leaving this job, I'm leaving with something I have learned from the job. You understand? That's the only way you can grow. You understand? So look, career, to find a career, it's not cast in stone. People have worked 6, 7 jobs before they said, okay, you know what, right now, I can seek control over my life and over my career. That's one way to look at it. You understand? Because if you seek career advice from your parents, I think they might be happy, but yourself, you won't be happy.
Yeah.
So I think going to work on yourself, learning better and developing skills should be one way you can also find your career. But I don't think if you point out from a young age to say, I want to do this, that if you don't achieve that, you say, okay, I did not achieve my goal in life. Most of these things are not cast in stone. No, it's not.
All right. To add to what Fabian has already said, it's not only when our parents dictate to us this is what they want us to be that we can find our career. We can also find our career through a mentor or even ask questions to some other, maybe something you admire somebody else is doing. You can ask questions, how do you go about this? From there, you can pick an interest. You can also, find your career by joining three things together. That is your gift, your passion, and your value. The value you have in that particular thing you want to do. We call it G plus P plus V, gift, passion, and value. You can find your career towards it as well. So we'll take a break now. We'll come back, we'll continue. Vivid View.
Say and do it.
Vivid View.
Welcome back. My career, where to begin, is what we have been discussing with Fabian Akeze. And the next is, can graduates or should graduates consider work experience before starting their own ventures?
Exactly. That's yes. Honestly, yes. You see, I was speaking with someone earlier before I came in, and I said something. I said, look, the skills that we actually use in the university are different from the skills that we need
From
in the
real
real
life,
world.
yeah.
They're not the same. You see, what they teach us in school is just how to read and pass exams. But when you get into the labor market, you see, I was reading a book, and they talked about deep human interaction skills. I teach people about focus, and people need to work with one another. You need to learn how to sell, how to market. You need to grow career capital. Look, there's something called timing. So that when you choose to, if you choose to seek control over your life, you know, okay, fully well that if I'm going into something new, this is my own, people will pay me for it. I know fully well that I understand this thing. I know how to do it well. And one way to do it is actually to have worked, earned a living, know the way life works. Because just walking into something and not understanding it at all, I think it will just become a mirage. Exactly, it become a mirage. It become a huge joke, and that's what affects so many young people today. They have wonderful ideas, but they don't know how to piece it together. And most people need to realize that, look, I know it's difficult to get a job, and forget about the big companies. You can start small. You can start working for small. The most important thing is that you are learning. If I should work for a small marketing company and it teach me sales, I can use it in the future. No knowledge is a waste. You understand? So it's really, really important for graduates to work first before they get a job. I'm not saying that it's cast in stone. If you have a wonderful idea and you can go with your idea, that's okay. But it's also important for you to learn to work with other people before you start your own thing. Thank you.
He has already said so. There's a lot of problems in getting job even after school. Yes, one would say, where do I not get the experience if I don't work? But you just mentioned you don't need to work in a very big, maybe target a very big company that they may find difficult to even engage you. You can just start little. You can just sit by somebody, who just have a little shop. It could be a chemist shop, it could be whatever, and just know what that person is doing. Or you can even pay some money to learn some skills. Like I mentioned here before in this platform, that my own seamstress was a graduate. But before she graduated, she decided to enroll to learn 6 months how to make wares. And today now she makes wares and even transport them or export them outside the country. So something like that, you can just let her have little work experience before you now begin your own venture. By the time you start yours, you have experience to go about it. Remember when we talk about personal income, or even we talk about employment, we mentioned about TITE. Don't know if you still remember, those of you that watch the program, TITE. The first is training, interest, temperament, and experience. So experience is also very, very important. That's what they say. You must have little experience as a graduate before you do your own. So that by the time you start well, not begin and before a year or two, you are out of business because you don't have experience. Then can a change in work attitude lead to career growth?
Exactly, yes. You see, formally as a banker, when you get into companies, you realize that most people who are there are not happy to be there. They just come to work every day because that's what I did yesterday. That's what I did the day before, and I know that I need this salary. But look, for young people watching, when you have a different attitude to life, when you choose to see the good in everything, no matter how difficult it is, I think you can grow your career. You understand? Because if you have a bad attitude towards your job, if you look at it like this job no be yam, or this job is not giving me the joy that I was guaranteed, or that
This is not where I'm supposed to belong. I just want to manage.
Exactly. For now.
Yeah, I just want to manage. Yeah.
Just a brief story. I was at an interview I think sometime last year, yes, and a guy was saying that, look, I will manage this for now till I get a better offer. I mean, that kind of attitude, how can you grow?
You won't learn more.
You won't learn because the only thing you are there is because you just want to be there just to earn the pay and move to the next level. And most times they always find those guys out. So it's important for people to have a different change in attitude. Learn to work right rather than looking for the right job. If you learn to work right rather than looking for the right job, I believe and I can guarantee you one fact that you will grow from there. You will grow from there. It might not be a joyous transition, but once you get it right, you will grow with a different attitude.
I am glad because a young man that is talking to you, so not maybe I brought a very old man. It's a young man giving you his own, sharing his own, life story, so to say, what he did and how he's going to go about his career. So it's important you behave properly where you are. Any job you find yourself doing now, do it well. Even Bible says so. Say whatever you find yourself to do it well. Even if you have in mind, to leave the place, to work for a short while before you leave it. Grab something from that office first. Etiquette, at work and all that before you don't just say, let me just go. I beg, at the end of the month, they pay me my salary. In that case, you'll not be able to learn anything. Even by the time you start yours, you're not going to handle it well. Because when you handle somebody's own thing properly, when you start yours too, you do much, much better. We'll take a break now. We'll come back. We'll take questions from the audience. Vivid View.
Say and do it.
Vivid View.
My name is Oluwashola Quadri. I want to ask, how can you stop your parents or convince them from choosing a career for you? Thank you.
My name is Chioma Emanuela. My question is, when one is done with school and still do the same business that the family is doing, is it a career or a family business? Thank you.
My name is Precious Osagi, and my question is, someone with multiple skills and cannot utilize anyone and doesn't know what to do, what can you advise such person to do?
Paul Douglas. Thank you, our guest speaker. My question goes thus. What should I do when I can't find a job in my field of study, that is my career, and I am not deriving satisfaction in my present job that is actually meeting my daily needs? Thank you.
Amede Zerud by name. My question goes thus. In this generation, seeking spiritual guidance in your career choice, how relevant is it? Thank you.
We have taken questions from the audience, so I'll direct them to our guest for his response. But before then, please follow us in our social media as displayed on the screen. Fabian, respond to the questions.
All right. Thank you very much, GVDU. Okay, the first one goes to us, how to convince your parents or stop them from choosing a career for you. Okay. Honestly, in this field, I think every Nigerian child, I don't know about elsewhere, every Nigerian child will battle this one out. And I was at Our Lady of Apostles, and I gave the same advice, never seek career advice from your parents, and they were all, and but the truth about the matter is, convincing them might not be the issue, because I think as a full-grown adult, you should be able to say what you want to do for the rest of your life. You can't live with your parents forever. They might decide. I think Peter and Paul said the same thing. Their father never wanted them to become musicians, but they chose to become one. So I don't think the problem here will be convincing your parents. I think the problem. I think the solution should be placing your feet on the ground or your foot on the ground to say, you know what, this is what I want to spend my life doing. Even if it backfires or it doesn't turn out the way we want to, I guess it's your own decision. You understand? And you definitely get to live with the consequences. All right. So
That is, for me, that is to some children. We will not undermine parents' guidance at all. We will not undermine it. It's so important. But if you're not able to convince your father why you want to choose certain career, then you don't know what you want to do in your life. But if you're able to convince, if you really give them good reasons why you want to follow a particular career, I think the parents will give in. That's where I look at it.
All
So.
right. Okay, all right, yes. Elise, yes, I do understand what you say, which is ultimately correct because, you know, our parents actually did live before us. Also, yes, it's also important for people who are misguided, don't know where they want to go in life, to also listen to parents' advice or also seek career advice from their parents and go from there.
All right, thank you. That's great. Question 2.
Question 2. If at the end of your education, you end up doing the same thing with your family members, is it a career or a family business? Now, yes, I think this is common in our society. You see, we become part of what we are around. Now, we might think we love what our parents do because we've been doing it for so long, we just have no other choice than to love it. In certain instances, it might become a career for some people because we've seen so many people who turned out to follow their parents' footsteps. But in other people, in some other instances,
do it better
than their parents did.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes, you are correct. Exactly. But in some other instances, people just did because their parents forced them to do it and they've threatened them and they don't know what else to do. So I think the answer can actually be viewed in two different perspectives.
Yeah.
You understand? In some instances, it can become a career for you. We've seen children succeed, take over their parents' business and take the business to whole new heights.
Exactly.
That we've seen. But in some other instances,
And that'll be a
people
family
just
business.
don't want to do it, and the parents insist that, look, this business has been in our lineage for a very, very, very long time, and it must continue like that.
And it can't stop in your own time.
Exactly.
So it becomes a family business.
It becomes a family business. So in two different perspectives, yes, it is a career, and no, it's not a career.
Okay, that's good.
All right, question 3. Someone with multiple skills but cannot utilize anyone and doesn't know what to do. Now, it's quite important because even walking down the streets of Lagos, you realize, you see a lot of banners saying empowerment, learn baking, learn... No offense to people who bake, people who make beads, people who are into makeup artistry. No offense to them. But look, you can't acquire a skill, you can't learn a skill in 2 weeks and expect to become a millionaire and by the next month. It is not humanly possible. Okay, now, this is a pure instance of being called a jack of all trades.
A master of none.
Exactly. Because what everybody wants to do now, people will tell you, go and learn this, go and learn that, go and learn this, go and learn that. It's not humanly possible. I think you should start with one skill. Focus on that one skill. There's something called deliberate practice. We all know Michael Phelps. He made history now, the best Olympian of all time. It's not as if he can only swim. It doesn't like he plays football and he plays basketball. It's only swimming. So I think this should go out to the people who are in these situations realize that, look, start with one skill. Grow that one skill. Face the challenges. Stick through. Love that one skill. Don't just pick that skill because my friends are doing it. Like now everybody's speaking computer coding because so many people have become billionaires as a result of this, and at the end of the day you realize that I don't actually love this. Stay with that one skill, grow with that skill, learn from that skill. Then if it doesn't work out, what you learn, you can transition to another one. But don't just go and encompass as much skills as you possibly can because you want to become the new superhero Dangote. It won't work. Thank you.
Yeah, but I think...
VV